Okay, welcome to this week's lab. Last week we worked with disk management. This week we're going to work with storage spaces. As I'm sure you see from the lecture, storage spaces is a little bit different. It's a Windows client aspect as opposed to how you would normally do disk management the same way in a client as you would in a storage server. This is how you do RAID 5 in a Windows client machine. So before we get started, we're going to get rid of all of these virtual hard drives that we created in our virtual machine. We're going to do this by clicking on Edit Virtual Machine Settings. And then we'll click on each one of these individual hard drives, except for our hard drive 0 or hard drive with no number. And we're just going to click on Remove. So we remove disk 5, remove disk 3, disk 2, disk 4, and I don't know why this changed to disk 6, but we're going to remove it as well. And we're going to create some new virtual disks for this drive specifically. So we're going to click on Add, leave it on hard drive, click Next, create a new virtual disk. This is going to be 10 gigs, stored as one single file, click Next, browse to our location, and we're actually going to name this one Drive 1. Notice we're not naming it hard drive 1 because we already named hard drive 1. We can't name it the same thing as we did something that already exists. So we'll just name it drive 1. Click Save, Finish. And we're going to do this exact same thing 4 more times. So we have drive 1. Click Add, new hard drive, Next. Create a new virtual disk, Next. 10 gigs, single, Next. And we're going to name this Drive 2. Click Finish. Click Add, Next, 10 gigs, single file, Drive 3. Add, Next, 10 gigs, single file, Drive 4. Add, Next, 10 gigs, stored as a single file, Next, Drive 5. There we go. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new hard drives. We'll hit OK. We got our hard drives. And we're going to go ahead and power this bad boy on. We can go ahead and log in as student. And again, we want to go into disk management. Now that we're in disk management, it should show us that we need to initialize these disks, and we can just go ahead and hit OK. Now we can minimize disk storage once we've seen that those 5 disks have been created and initialized. And we need to go into our storage area. So we're going to click on storage, we're going to click on our search menu and we're going to type storage. Storage settings should pop up. We'll click on that. And you should see an area where it says view storage usage and other drives. When you click there, just take a look at what you have there to see. Not a whole lot. So let's click on the back arrow and let's change where change where new content is saved. Click on that, and you can see that there's area where you can save your content. Again, we only have the local C drive, but it can tell you where all of the different content is saved. So we'll click back arrow again. Now let's click on Manage Storage Spaces. Once we're inside Manage Storage Spaces, we want to click on Create a New Pool. Go ahead and say yes. Now you can see that we have disks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 available. Unselect 3, 4, and 5 so that all that are selected are 1 and 2. And then click on Create a Pool. Once you click Create a Pool, you should see a bunch of different information pop up. We can name this different things based off of what we want to name it. So right now it's named storage space, but we can name it whatever we want. We can change the drive letter and the file system type, and we can change the type of resiliency, whether it's a simple volume, two-way mirror, three-way mirror, or parity. And again, look through your PowerPoint presentations to discuss what those different things are. Okay, now you've seen all this, let's go ahead and hit cancel. And we want to click on the physical drives. So you want to click Add Drives. And note that when you do, you have a bunch of drives that pop up. So again, let's uncheck disk 5. We already have 1 and 2 on there. Let's click on just 2 and 3. And we're going to add these drives. Now we have a total of 4 drives, and you can see that the total amount of drive space is 37.4 gigabytes. If you expand your physical drives, you should see now that you have disks 1, 2, 3, and 4 on there, and disk 5 is not on there. So let's go ahead and add drives and add this final drive. And now all 5 of our drives are connected. Now, if you click on Create a Storage Space, you should be able to see that you can do all of the different types of mirrors and parities and everything. So let's go ahead and create this storage space. We're going to name it three-way mirror. And we're going to go ahead and choose the three-way mirror type and hit create storage space. And notice that it's creating the storage space. Now you can click on view files if you want. And you really don't see anything in there. But at this point, we can copy a bunch of files in here. So let's just go to this PC, C, program files, common files. And let's just go ahead and copy all of this. And we'll throw it into the three-way mirror. Now let's just take a look here. We're going to close this. We can close this as well. Let's go into our virtual machines settings here. Right click on the virtual machine, click on settings, and let's just disconnect disk 5. We're going to just remove it. It won't let us do it without powering off. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Let's power this computer off. Shut down. And then we will disconnect power, also known as delete disk 5. So we can click on Edit Virtual Machine Settings. Disk 5, we'll remove it. Click OK. And let's power this virtual machine back on. Let's go ahead and log in. Let's open up our File Explorer and open up our three-way mirror. And look, all these files still exist. Interesting. So go ahead and finish up the lab. Keep doing the different deletions of the drives and see if you can get it to continue to see the files and open the files and so on and so forth. At some point, you will be able to get to a point where you can't read the file. So make sure you pay attention to when that is. When you're ready to re-add the drives, I'm going to go ahead and close this, power this off. We can come back in here and click on Edit Virtual Machine, and we can add that hard drive that we had, that disk 5, by using an existing virtual disk. Clicking on Browse and going to our disk 5. Wherever we managed to put that. And now we have our drive 5 back. So we can power it back on. Oh, it didn't find drive 5. That's not good. Well, let's go ahead and remove drive 5. When it asks you to re-add the hard drive, just make a new one. Click Add, New Hard Drive, Next, New, 10 gigs, stored as a single file. There we go. So go ahead and finish up the rest of the lab. If you run into any issues, feel free to let me know. And let me know how you feel about the difference between creating a RAID 5 in server and creating a storage pool in Windows Client. And that's it for the lab. Have a great day.